Traders, what's up? What's up? Welcome back to another Relentless recap, guys. I haven't done a recap in the last 2 days, so here I am. I'll show you guys how the week is looking so far. I'm a little disappointed, man. I'm a little disappointed because while I came into the month making some adjustments in terms of red days and trying to reduce my red days and to be more careful, there's been some other things that's not been going super well. And the reality is that while these numbers are okay, if I tell you guys mentally, I feel like I'm already up 15, 20K on the month, but here I am up 5K, you'd say, Relentless, what the heck is going on, right? So execution is my problem right now. Executing. Imagine, this field is so interesting, man, because for how I interpret the market, for how I see everything playing out with this style, with this strategy, I can see the opportunities so clear. It's almost like I'm seeing into the future. And then when it's time for me to execute, here I am fumbling the freaking trades, man. Over and over for the last 4 or 5 days. And now I feel like I'm going insane. I feel like I'm going insane. Now, these numbers here, honestly, is like not even bottom line, like in terms of the opportunity that came and went throughout the day. I've also been having issues with fills, like the fills on some of these stocks, despite buying early, or the broker lagging. Like it's just been a whole freaking onslaught of just garbage, man. But at the end of the day, I understand what it is. One, with market orders, we understand there's going to be high fills, low fills, bad fills, fills in between, whatever. Two, the broker that we're using is a free commission platform, which means from time to time they will have floating orders. They will have issues. Three, and most importantly, I need to be better in the situations, especially when it comes to getting frustrated and then getting thrown off my game. There's no reason why I should be leaving here in rage. Okay, in those areas, those moments in time, part of my new plan is to leave, but I should never be leaving in anger. I need to be leaving in control, with calmness, with a peaceful mind, a clear mind. Because I know what it is. I know what it is. My intuition is good. And ultimately, I'm allowing the frustration of not capitalizing in some of these areas to get the better of me. Today I missed a very, very clean setup because I got upset, complained, and the stock gave another entry at the lows. I end up missing the opportunity. Whose fault is that? My fault. At the end of the day, you can't blame anybody but yourself when you're trading subpar, when you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. It's different if you're a beginner trader trying to figure out a strategy, learn a strategy. It's a little different rather than somebody who's been trading for a long time that has a successful strategy, right? So I have nothing to say other than I gotta up my game. It's that simple. There's nothing other than to say I gotta improve. I gotta continue to study even more. I gotta continue to study even more. Gotta continue to study even more. And the last thing that I'm doing that's not great is that when I do come back, yeah, it makes you, it's so tricky because it makes you think about what you should do and what makes more sense, what doesn't. I'll come back 10, 15 minutes after the live stream. I'm usually here whenever the stock starts to move again. Okay, I trade that. And then I'm thinking to myself, okay, momentum slowing down, but we know opportunities are coming throughout the day. Do I want to do other work? It's like this issue here has been plaguing me for like years. Like there's some days where staying here just doesn't make any sense. There's other days like today where if you stayed here, there's areas like this, right? Boom. I mean, what's this, like a 30% move? There's areas like this where if you're patient enough to wait, the opportunities will come. OBLG, GV, right? GV. This one, we saw this. We saw a bit of an incline here. There was another one in TNON. Well, maybe not. Small move, but not too much there. We had EGIO. There we go. EGIO, brand new stock from what we saw this morning. Go all the way up here. I mean, just look at the incredible move this thing is going to give, man. I'm pretty sure if I'm watching a stock like this from start to end, I'm very, very sure at this price range, especially, we could have made like $3,000. So, again, it's nobody but myself. So I got to figure out how I want to approach these days from start to end and not just the first hour and a half. Do I want to stay through and through? Do I want to leave and come back and understand that if I leave, I can miss something? Because I mean, this in itself is a great day, right? Even if this is the only stock that moved on a day, I think missing this is like too much, man. 130 to 230, it pulls back. It looks like it's having some trouble with the VWAP, but once it gets back over the level, it's back to 214 and pulled back into those previous high. I mapped out some levels here, and just look at how this thing was dipping nicely into the previous highs, man. I look at this, coming back from this move over here, we had highs at 215, right? It breaks out 230, 244. It dips down to 212, 216. Just, oh my, just beautiful, 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 beautiful. Again, 240 was resistance over here. It rips up, it dips 250, rips up higher, comes back down again, 250, and just it bouncing in this area, bouncing, bouncing. And look at just how beautiful these wicks are here. I'm watching this. Anybody's watching this really, and you're mapping out your levels, you're reading this thing well. I mean, this is just, this is what it's all about. So I'm not super happy with the month so far. In one hand, me being more strict with, or yeah, a little bit tighter with losses. So far so good. But in terms of executing, especially whilst I'm here, it's just not gonna get it done. So we gotta improve. We gotta step it up. Versus last month, like the start of last month, we're definitely much more ahead. But we gotta step it up. If we're to filter the 1st to the 9th of last month, I mean, you guys will see the disaster that was going on then. Yeah, and I use maybe words like disaster sounds a little dramatic, but you guys know what I mean, right? Anything that's below what I think I can perform is essentially a disaster. It's those same high standards like that that's gotten me to where I am now. So it's like I'm not gonna be easy on myself, and I think I'm maybe even too soft on myself right now, because back in the days, if this was happening, like I wouldn't even allow myself to do, like for example, there's this event coming up on the weekend. Like back in the days, man, if I can't do what I need to do, I need to stay home and study. It's just that simple. There's no way I should be having fun when I'm not performing how I need to perform. That's just the type of person I am. Call it insane, obsession, crazy. This is what it needs to be, man. So this recap, we're not really talking too much technicals right now, but definitely in terms of psychology and planning, we got to make a change. So in terms of adjustments, I think the first hour is going well. In terms of like routine, I'm waking up early, I'm coming in early, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. Sometimes there's the bathroom breaks, but that's kind of life, that's part of the deal. But other than that, when I come into the first hour and I start to notice resistance, I do want to continue to ease off. But the moment something starts to move again, I need to be ready, and I need to be a little bit more consistent with how I'm watching the market, at least through 12 p.m., man. At least through 12 p.m. I think I got to be a little bit more consistent in watching the market. So what I can do, perhaps, I think maybe leaving the live stream on sometimes and then coming back. So I'll take that 5-10 minute break, leave the live stream on, come back again, and then push through to 12. And if we see that the market is still hot around that time and we're capitalizing, then we can push to 1 p.m., capture any additional moves that might come. Because we got to be a little bit more consistent in terms of being in front of the screen as well. That's going to help out. So for execution, when it comes to the dips, the moment I'm in an area that is presumed to be support, I need to be a little bit more patient and not be as flippy floppy, right? On, I think it was it? Let's see, which stock was this? Positions MNPR, was it this one? No, it's a different stock. OBLG. OBLG. I think the stock was at $2, whichever one. SMFL, which one was I thinking of here? SMFL. I can't even remember the stock. Jeez, TNON. Okay, maybe I pull up the archive. This will refresh my memory. There was a stock, I think, at like $2, or was it 5? Man, my memory's off. But anyhow, there was like a dip. There was a dip I was holding like for a little bit, and let's see, TNON. We did what we were supposed to do. Let's see, PLCE, and man, PLCE, man, the broker issue. This kind of frustrated me a little bit. Like, I don't care about the $300 loss, right? But it's like, it's this mental thing of like taking losses where I wasn't even supposed to take an actual loss, but I still gotta blame myself because really and truly I was supposed to sell the stock immediately, and I allowed this nonsense to change my bias, right? Based off of what my plan was to do. So in this situation right here, I'm long 52. I'm looking to add 700 shares, mid to low 40s. The bid price pops up very quickly, so I cancel the order, but I see that I'm filled essentially at 52. This is a place to potentially use the ladder to place a limit order rather than trying to hit the bid as the level 2 price fluctuates lower, right? Those are all adjustments that could be made here. So initially, if I'm to get the fills that I would have wanted, I'd have been a little bit more comfortable to try to hold this thing, but being that my ad is filled high, I should have sold immediately, which is honestly one of my rules. So I broke a rule right here, and the market is going to punish me for it, rightfully so. This is what needs to happen, is that the stock should flush all the way down to zero so that I could learn my lesson, right? Anyhow, it comes down, I get the fill at 23, I'm like, whatever. So that happened. The trade that I'm thinking about here, though, let's see, OBLG resumption. I don't think this resumption ended up being that good. Let's see, let's just take a look at it. It resumed at 60. I thought that the volume was lighter, and that did throw me off a little bit. But it's not selling off, right? If you take 60, it's aggressive entry, but maybe it goes. There's 80, 82, and then 97. Yeah, it wasn't a lot of selling pressure. But yeah, I think GV might have been the stock that I'm thinking of here. I think GV is the stock here. So yeah, this is the trade. Okay, I don't know why I was thinking $2, but anyhow, it's $5. This thing comes down, and I'm long at $5, right? 504, and so this is how the mindset is supposed to be working in this trade. High of day was at freaking 580. I'm buying the stock at 504. This is what you call actively managing the trade like too tightly. Like I'm being way too tight on the trade here, and despite looking for the bigger picture trade, a little too worried about the risk and not fully accepting the risk for what it should be for this type of trade. If my upside potential is 80 freaking cents, if my upside potential is 80 cents and I'm looking for a 2-3 to 1 ratio, I honestly could risk about 20 cents here comfortably. This would have to flush down to 490, 480 for me to really start to even think about it. Think about this being a terrible trade at this point, right? Now, the part of my mindset that gets me caught up sometimes is thinking, if this does pull back down to VWAP or 490, I can sell right here and buy back lower and just get the lower entry. And that mindset there, it's so tough because sometimes it works out so well. Stock flushes down another 20 cents, you're out, scratch, back in, getting to move up. But being so tight to where I wasn't even willing to let this thing go below 5 was the problem. Worrying about slippage of what, 5-10 cents, you know? And I'm in here for about 30 seconds just holding and waiting because I know that, hey, once the 1 minute candle gets back up there and we can make the new high, the selling volume was light, we can curl back up to 550, 560, and then I could look to take profits. I wouldn't even try to sell quarter unless we see 30. So I'm in here, I'm holding, I'm waiting, and then I'm going to sell this position right here at 502. There's a little bit of red printing, and I'm going to become a little too uneasy here. It's going to come down again. I'm going to get a little uneasy. I'm going to take it off. What is it to risk right here? What is it to risk 10 cents to potentially make 70 cents on the way back up? What is it to risk 10 cents? I could have waited for 94, and then on top of that, I could have bought back. If I'm stopping out 94 and this thing is looking good, I can buy back instantly. I got to give it some more room right here. I got to give it, I literally took a 2 cent stop for what? Right? And now let's skip ahead 30 seconds. 30 seconds more. So I'm in the trade for 30 seconds. I stopped out for 2 cent loss. 30 seconds more. The stock is up at 540. Those are that's the difference, right? The small decision making. This trading thing is not very, you can have a day where you're up 10 grand, a day you're up 1K. And these small things like this is the difference, right? Especially when you're pushing a lot of size behind it, right? So definitely got to be better in situations like that, right? And this thing got all the way up to 50. It pulled back and then tried again. And so, I think it ended up going for a new high, if I could remember correctly. Did we? Okay, maybe not yet. It did pull back one more time. I was watching the resumption stuff over there. Okay, that might have been it. But yeah, anyhow, so you guys see the point there, right? Those are the type of trades that I got to improve on, man. I got to be a little bit more disciplined to understand my risk to my reward and not be so scalpy, because sometimes there's like a conflict of interest. I got to understand the type of trade that I'm taking. That's the key. Is this a breakout or bailout trade, or is this a 5-minute setup? The 5-minute setup has a little bit more of a backstop. Not huge, because we're already presuming to be buying support, but something to where we can maneuver a little bit, right? So gotta be a little bit better in executing those areas like that. We should be coming out of there 20-30 cents minimum, man. Anyhow, as we saw, OBLG resumption a little slow to gain volume. Trades like this I should have done better on over 512. I think areas like this I'm kind of just not as focused as I should be. This thing gets back over 5. There's a little bit of green printing. I should have, like right here, that's obvious. Like this is so obvious looking at this. Like there's green printing at 505. The 1-minute candle is 12 to make the new high. Why the heck am I not in at 508, 509? And right here I could be selling into the green at 2K shares. If I'm in at like 10, out at 25, 22, nice 260, 400 bucks in the trade there. I said 400, like 300 bucks, 330. All that stuff is like, it's this simple trades right here. Simple trades. The dip comes down. Can we hold? If it does, I can try again, get back in. So again, like entries like this is like no-brainer entries in terms of the strategy, right? So the pastor must step up his game and stop the slacking, which is why I'm saying this month right now is going decent, but nothing close to what we could have been doing if we're to be executing to the best of our abilities. So there's work to be done. There's work to be done as usual. There's work to be done. So hit that thumbs up. Tomorrow again. I know I haven't really been posting the recaps as much as I should have been. But as you guys know, sometimes I kind of need that day or two of break to then get back to business. But, I'm always going to come with the recap at the end of the day. Going back over everything. So, a few days we ended the live stream red, like 300 bucks. I think on this day, like 600. But again, like these trades are not like, being down like 600 is nothing if there's a strong stock. Like we can make $600 hitting the buy button once. So on days where it's not going well, if I ease off sooner than later, I can give myself a good chance of getting back green when something else that's strong does come back up. So on a day like yesterday, which I think we might have also been a little red early, yeah, minus 610 to then back to green, and then up 300 flat, all three scratch trades here, but really got into a good stride here around 1 p.m. after we had some good opportunities. And this is pretty, for 57% accuracy, like this is, we could have done better than that. What's today's accuracy? Maybe I hit the back button. What's today's accuracy? We were pretty accurate for a decent part of the day, and then we started like struggling a bit. So 49, not great. Well, that was yesterday. So the 10th, let's see, 44. Like this is pretty low accuracy, right? Like this is red day accuracy for me. The 9th, 48. So we need to see more days, and the Friday probably was awful. We need to see more days of above 50% accuracy. Usually when I'm at like 50, 52 or higher percent accuracy, the day is a solid day. So it's 55. Usually like it's like thousands of dollars on the day, right? And so for again, like once I'm like below like 46, it's usually like a red day. So started off the day nicely, up $800, and then just nosedive. But I do like that I saw, hey, I'm getting too much resistance. Let's stop the bleeding here before we go down 500, 1K, 2K. But there's work to be done. There's work to be done. There's no if nor buts nor maybe. There's work to be done. Pastor, I got to make these adjustments and got to make them quick. If not, I'll be going insane. That's the beautiful thing about trading, is that we get another chance tomorrow. And if I'm very quick to make the adjustments, very quickly I can be smiling wide like the Grinch, ear to ear, green. All right, hit that thumbs up. I'll see you guys next time.